Hello, third graders. Welcome to our Purposes Readers today. I can use context clues to help me determine the meaning of unknown words. What are context clues? Same thing as saying sentence clues. As you read, you may come across a word you don't know. We call that an unknown or a tricky word. You're going to look at the other words in the same sentence. We call that looking outside the word. Those words can give you clues about the word's meaning. So let's look at an example. Remember, we have a three-step process. We're going to look inside the word, look outside the word at those sentence clues, and then plug in a word or a phrase that might make sense. Here is our example. I feel so discouraged, said Kim. I guess there's nothing we can do. Again, what's our process? We're going to look inside that word, we're going to look outside that word, and we're going to plug in. So if I look inside the word discouraged, I see the root word courage. Courage means to be brave or do things even if you think it's impossible. Dis means not. So if I feel discouraged, I'm not feeling brave or confident. I might be upset. Okay? We just thought about the inside of that word. Now we're going to look outside the word, thinking about the sentence clues, the words that are around this word. So when I reread the sentence, I notice that there are words that connect to the inside of that word. Courage or not having courage. There's nothing we can do. So you're feeling hopeless or disappointment. So let's plug in. I feel so upset, said Kim. I guess there's nothing we can do. Or I feel so disappointed, said Kim. I guess there's nothing we can do. We just used context clues or sentence clues to determine the meaning of the unknown word discouraged. Now we're going to practice it on a workbook page that looks very similar to your workbook page. This is what you will be doing independently today. Again, I can use context clues. Context is just a fancy word for in that sentence to help me determine the meaning of unknown words. The directions. We're going to read the sentence. Okay, so let me follow each step. Number one, I'm going to read the sentence. There are many people who volunteer or help without getting paid when a tragedy strikes. Okay, now it's telling me to look for context clues that help you determine the meaning of the word in bold. Well, I'm going to look inside that word. Volunteer. You know what? Looking inside that word doesn't really help me. I don't know what volunteer means. I don't have any word relationships. So now I'm going to look outside of that word. Or help without getting paid. Somebody who volunteers must help without getting paid. So now let's choose the right letter or plug in. Work. There are many people who volunteer. There are many people who work or help without getting paid when a tragedy strikes. Well, I know if you work, you're getting paid, so that doesn't make sense. There are many people who help without getting paid or help without getting paid. That's the same thing. It must be B. Let's move on to number two. Remember to always go back to your directions. Read the sentence. The pilot was checking the plane to make sure everything was functioning correctly. If the plane wasn't working correctly, the trip would have to wait. Okay, I'm going to look inside this word. I do see a root word, function, and I see a suffix ing, but looking at that root word function still doesn't help me. Okay, so now that means I'm going to look outside the word at those context clues or those sentence clues. The pilot was checking the plane. So if you're checking it, you want to make sure the plane's working. If the plane wasn't working correctly, the trip would have to wait. There's that word working again. So maybe I could plug in working for functioning. The pilot was checking the plane to make sure everything was working correctly. Does that sound right and make sense? Let's make a choice. Broken? No, that doesn't make sense. Working? That matches my thinking. And our last one, number 3. Vitamins are necessary in order to stay healthy. Mrs. Rieger needs to take her vitamins daily. Okay, I'm going to look inside my word. My word is necessary. The only other related word that I can think of is like a necessity, something that someone needs. I'm going to look outside the word at my context clues or sentence clues. Vitamins are necessary in order to stay healthy. Mrs. Rieger needs to take her vitamins daily. Oh, here's something that tells me needs to take. So vitamins must be needed. Let's see. Vitamins are wanted in order to stay healthy, or vitamins are needed in order to stay healthy. Well, my context clue, my sentence clue, has the word needs, so that connects. That is related. We just used context clues. Another word for that is sentence clues to help us determine the meaning of the unknown words. All right, third graders, make sure you use that purpose when you're reading.